My name's Crystal, and this is my son Judah. He's almost a year old.
I'm Hannah, and this is my son Keone. He's about to turn 9 months old.
Being a new mom is not a good time. Nobody wants to say it, but it's not fun, you know, between the breastfeeding and the sleep deprivation. There's just so much going through your head.
There's a lot of pressure on women and on mothers to do everything perfectly, and it's impossible to do that.
I had my son in October of 2022. I honestly had watched a television show about like a mom support group, and it was a hilarious show, but I also found myself thinking, wow, that's really nice actually. I would not mind having a support group like that. So I've looked up and I found Family Hui Hawaii.
Family Hui Hawaii is really here for parents, right? We want to help families thrive, and we want to give them just the toolbox and the support that they need to do their very best. Getting out of the house is so important when you first have a baby, because you're just so alone and you really need that interaction between other parents, mostly to know that you're not crazy and that you're all going through the same thing. I think there's like this instant joy of being with other people, with other kids.
You know, that communal feeling of I'm going through this and they're also going through this, and they understand, and they're not here to teach you what you should be doing better or question why you're doing things the way that you are. They're just here to kind of nod their head and go, yeah, I feel you, sis.
There are a lot of times where you feel like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if I'm doing this right, or I think I may have messed up this way, or I made this mistake. But then you talk to other moms and you're like, oh, I totally dropped him the other day. And
what we do is we put families together by meaningful experience. Typically, it's age and neighborhood. If you gather all of the 1-year-olds together in Kalihi, then you're forming this social group, right? This network of support within your own neighborhood. And you're going through some of the similar types of developmental challenges and joys and successes at the same time, so you have lots to talk about.
It's like getting together with your best friends, but it's structured. There's a framework involved, and so yeah, you can get together with your friends, that's awesome. But a component of Hui is that we're trying to also learn about that peer-to-peer share about parenting and child development. This is actually a real example for me, but I was like, oh yeah, the topic of discipline came up, and I was like, oh, I'm totally gonna spank my kids. I was spanked, no big deal. And another mom looked at me and she's like, what? And I was like, aren't we all gonna spank our kids? Isn't that what we do? And she's like, no, that's not what I'm gonna do. And I learned so much from her. This is when I was in baby Hui holding my first child. I learned so much from that interaction. I was like, oh, there's another way to parent. There's another way to discipline. Let me look into that. And I did, and what I found was astonishing. And I adopted a totally different parenting plan from that point on. So that peer-to-peer share is really important. I don't ever want anyone to feel like Hui is a class. It's not a class. It's just a topic every week that we introduce amongst the group, and the facilitator says, and go. And we talk and we share and we learn and we grow about that one topic. So it's a little bit more focused than, say, just getting together with your friends and hanging out somewhere, which I think is also awesome and necessary. But with Hui, you're going to get a little bit more structure, and you're going to get a little bit more of that peer-to-peer learning.
You know, we have single moms, there's moms that have husbands, there's moms that have wives. Some of us are doctors, some of us are unemployed. You know, there's military families. We're all from different walks of life, but we're all going through the same thing. It doesn't matter how much money you make, what your family structure is at home, teething still sucks.
We've been blessed to have so many families come through our program, and you always hear a phrase that sounds a little cheesy, but it's so true, and they mean it with all their hearts when they say, Hui saved my life.
If I hadn't started my Hui, I don't know that I would have survived this past year. You know, we're best friends. They've been there for me like through some really dark times.
I feel great about myself as a mom because of Family Hui. I mean, I feel like to be in that group of other women going through the same thing, it makes me more confident, it makes me feel more prepared, it makes me feel like I'm not alone. I have a community of people that I can reach out to. So it's really boosted my confidence, and I think it's been incredibly important resource for me throughout my journey as a first-time mom.
I think that finding a mom support group is the best thing that I've done for myself as a mom. I suggest it to all of my expectant mom friends. I almost think it should be required. As a new mom, you're questioning everything about yourself. So it really helps just solidify, that I'm doing the best I can, and that's enough.
No matter what your family situation is, no matter what your background is or what you went through, even if your childhood wasn't so great, together we can give each other hope in doing the best for our kids, and that makes all the difference in the world.